Hello friends, welcome to a new watercolor tutorial. I am VanidasMangathil. Today we are going to make a simple ink drawing and watercolor wash on top of it. This work is inspired from a reference from the Facebook page called Painting References. They have a lot of inspiring references. This is the work that we are doing today. I will explain the process, and without further ado, let us get into the video. Today I am using a 300 GSM cold pressed watercolor paper and a waterproof ink pen and Brustro watercolor pans. So I will list all the materials in the description below. Please have a look. I am making a very rough reference drawing, and the inspiration is from a reference from a Facebook page called Painting References. They have wonderful references. Okay, so I'm not explaining it in very detail because what I'm focusing on the interesting elements of the subject reference, and I'm kind of altering it to certain extent. I'm simplifying it to certain extent. Okay, when you make this kind of drawing, make it simple, but while keeping it simple, you pay attention to the angles, the perspective. So that is important. Okay, so I'm marking the major shapes, and I'm also marking the shape of the shadows. Okay. So the angles are little important. The under roof dark shadow area. Actually, this video is slightly sped up. I have increased the speed to 1.5 times because I found that my drawing was little slower. I wanted to reduce the video timing by making it little faster, but without compromising on the clarity. Okay. Right. I think this part of the building is reasonably done. So let us make some. There were a couple of people driving scooter, and there was a car. Or we will make some vehicles, okay, to make it lively. And this again is simple shapes, now not very detailed drawing. I wouldn't worry if I make mistakes. I will probably redraw on top of it, because these are sort of practices, and these are not very fine gallery quality works that we are doing. We are doing practice. We are learning. So it is perfectly okay if you make a wrong drawing and you can correct it on top. A little bit of overdrawing is all fine. The more loose you are, the more free you feel while drawing. I think the better the interesting the outcome becomes. Your confidence while making these lines, that will get reflected in the quality of your final product. Maybe a big car here. Again, just very simplified shape. The wheel, I think the left side wheel went a little bigger, but that's okay. Maybe a couple of more people. See, we could add a lot of detail if you want, but I am trying to reduce those details Just I wanted to maybe draw the big shapes. Maybe some people make, I mean, at this side also makes it interesting. Maybe one guy riding a bicycle, and yeah, I think we have done. Yeah, there was an auto rickshaw in this in the frame, in the reference. I'm adding that also. If you are not familiar with what an auto rickshaw is, it is a public transport uh, in India. Some cables hanging, some cows. I think I'm a little bit thinking. I mean, whether we should, what I should make here. Some directional lines. Maybe a figure here also. Again, not very clear what he is doing. What is the kind of vehicle? I'm adding just some colors. I'm applying some patches of colors of orange, red, some warm colors, and at some places I'm just touching with clean water. Some places I'm adding some colors. Basically, I'm going for a kind of color variation within this area. Some gray color here, some muted colors. So it's various colors, some red, some yellow, some orange, some gray, maybe some blue. Whatever I feel like, I mean, I'm just touching it, I mean, I'm just picking up the color from the palette, and whatever I think will work, will create some interest. There is some darker tones at some of the places. Okay, I'm not planning to color the windows as of now. I might color it later. Let this side be a little cooler color also, some blues and again some red. Just the paper is, I mean, I'm allowing the colors to mix on the paper. So whether this I'm not worried too much about how does it will turn out. I mean, whether that will look good or bad. I'm just trying to follow my instinct or my whatever my mind says. Okay, do this. Then I'm picking up that color. So it is basically I'm just listening to my heart and then doing it. So, and usually when we do that, the results look interesting. That is what I have found. If I make 10 paintings, maybe 5 paintings look good with this kind of taking impulsive decisions. In some works, we might repent, telling that okay, I shouldn't have used this color, or I shouldn't have done this approach. I mean, it happens, but most of the time it works, and that is how we learn. Okay, we get some idea, we follow it, we try it, and if it works well, you have discovered a new approach, new thing. And if it didn't work, still you have discovered that this idea will not work, it doesn't work. So you have a learning in either case. So please follow what your mind says, and of course you can do a little bit of evaluation, but don't totally discard the ideas that comes on your mind. Okay, so just merging the things together and bringing some kind of a cohesiveness into the entire paper. Right, I think the basic wash is done. We can add some details now at this point. Oh, and the clouds and the sky is left. Very simple blue color for the sky. Not too much of clouds, not too much of interest. just a, sort of a plain or little gradated wash. Okay, I think now we can treat that the initial wash is done. We can add some details for the other elements. Okay, some shadows on the car front glass, and what kind of a color for the car? Red. Okay. If you wish, if you are following along, you can change the colors. Okay, please experiment. Okay, with the colors. Please experiment with your approach. Okay, the treatment. Try to experiment with these. These videos can be, I mean, taken as a kind of inspiration or kind of guidance, but it doesn't have to be followed brushwork by brushwork. I mean, it could be treated as an inspiration, and you can I mean, alter your approach to a certain extent. The car looks okay now. No, let us go for some darker shadows. This is some dark colors. I think I may have to mix some warmer color into this dark. It looks too much like a blackish dark. Adding some red color to that. Okay. Right. See, the brush that I am using is a Chinese calligraphy brush as of now. And when we go for the details, I might change the brush to a smaller one. I might go to a synthetic one. So this dark, I have made it little warmer. I have added some red color to that to create some color variations and interest. Don't ask me what these are, some of the touches that I have made. This could be a warm shadow, very interesting shadow. Okay, I am exaggerating the shadow a little bit. I am making it a little bit more vibrant in color. That you can take your artistic freedom to do that. Make sure that it is not uniform color. If it is a flat single color, it doesn't look good. Okay, some sort of architectural details for the other buildings. It didn't go. This part is not good, but that's okay. I wouldn't mind it. Some lines for perspective. Yeah, I think we are done to a good extent now. I mean, the major shapes are mostly done. Let us make these other elements like the vehicles, the auto, some orangish yellow color for the auto, and green color for the lower part of the auto. Don't worry about which green it is, which orange it is. You can pick up the colors. Okay. Shadows are very important for the vehicles. Okay, the wheels and the shadows. Please don't forget to suggest the shadows and wheels for your vehicles. I often find it difficult to pick up the right colors for the vehicles, the figures, apparels, etc. I usually tend to pick up muted colors, but for this, I am deciding to pick some bright colors. Here, if you have noticed, I have picked up a smaller brush, a synthetic round brush. So you don't need specific tool for performing this particular work. You don't have to use the same tool that I am using. You can use a generic round brush, a generic round brush, synthetic round brush for the details. It's little bigger round brush, maybe natural hair or synthetic for the bigger washes. You can take, you can use a generic kind of tools. You don't have to go for specific brand, specific number for the brush. A good quality brush, of course, is always good. If you're finding difficulty in making these figures, I have a lot of videos already on my channel about making figures. You can check them out. Okay. A lot of figures tutorial and a lot of tutorials on the perspective of a group of figures. You can check them out. Not very sure what exactly is that, whether it is a bicycle or something else. Don't worry. I will leave it to your imagination. Some orange touches for the exposed body parts. Okay. These are some thick touches, creating some interest. Okay, whether if you don't like these thick touches, you can avoid that. Okay. Okay. Right. I have a tendency to, whenever I pick up a color, I have a tendency to touch it all across the painting. Right. So these are some final touches, and I think we can call it as done. Some white highlights will help in getting some attraction for certain elements, popping up certain elements. I think this again is optional, and you can avoid making white touches. Some pen drawing marks for additional details on the buildings. Okay. I feel that little bit of coloring for the windows will help. Some minor colors. I think overall you are getting a feel of the scene at this time, and we have simplified it a lot. Okay, we have simplified it a lot, and we try to avoid a lot of details. Okay, and I hope this kind of approach, this kind of tutorial was useful. And if you have any suggestion on improving the contents of my channel and improving the quality of the video, please do let me know. I'll try to incorporate your inputs, your suggestions. Okay. So what else? Do we need any further touches? I think, see, I have a tendency to keep doing. When I start doing something, I have a tendency to keep doing it. I could have avoided some of these details. Okay, so I should have stopped it a few minutes back. Okay, this area looked little blank, so I thought I will make some pen marks for the windows and architectural details. Again, this could have been done at the very beginning when we made the drawing. So I just felt that it is little blank at this point, so I added it. So I'm going to stop it after finishing these touches. I'm going to stop it. So please do let me know if you have any questions. If you have any questions on the approach or any other things, please do let me know. I will surely be answering. I will surely try to answer all your questions. Okay. when you make these suggestions, it is important that we follow the perspective lines, and perspectives are very important. So that's it. We are done for now. Thank you so much for staying with me throughout this video. Hope this video was informative. If you like it, if you found any value in it, please do subscribe to my channel and press the bell notification. If you have any question, suggestions or comments, write them into the comment box below. I will try to find out, I will try to come out with an answer as early as possible. I would suggest whenever you do watercolors, I would suggest you play with it, have some fun with it, create a kind of friendship with the watercolor medium, and I am sure with such funful practice, your watercolors are going to take to a new level. Thank you very much, and we'll see you soon with another tutorial.